Hey, guys. I have been having tech issues, so I'm not sure. Let me know if I am live. Let's stop the music. Let me know if I'm live. You should be able to see me on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful day in London. I hope wherever you are, the weather is fantastic, the vibes are fantastic, and you've come onto this session to hear all things LinkedIn, to discuss visibility, to discuss lead magnets, customer journeys, all the good things that help us as business owners to get in front of our ideal clients. So if you're on live, do say hi. I'll pull the chat up. And while you do that, I'm going to just drop a link into my community. So go ahead and say hi, and then I'll come back and we will continue the session. All right, I can find the Instagram link. What have you been up to today? Has it been productive? I hope so. Let's drop the link in. I wonder, maybe I should put the link here. Sorry, I'm talking as I'm typing. All right, I'm back. Multitasking was not one of my strong points. Right. All right. So the questions that we have in the lab today, I'm just going to pull those up. And if you are not in the LinkedIn Strategy Lab and you haven't been able to submit a question, please feel free, go ahead, drop your question into the chat. We haven't had that many come in today. So yeah, happy to answer any questions that are live. I will be on for the next 30 minutes. If there are no further questions before that time, hey, I'm happy to go and sit back in my garden because that is where I have been permanently stationed. So I'm just digging up the first question because I have it filed away in this Google form. All right, so the question that came in, it says, what should I post when I feel I have said everything already? Okay, so knowing what it is that you do, and I'm going to tag you timestamp. When I think about what it is that you do, the coaching method I think that you deliver is quite popular, quite, what would I say? Quite on vogue at the moment. So a lot of people are talking about the same topic. If that is the case for you as well as you listen, I think what you need to do is to differentiate yourself by bringing in your stories, client stories that are specific to the people that you work with. By going back through sales calls, I do this all the time. I go back through my AI recording of sales calls, of calls with clients. I go back and I glean from them the conversations, the nuances, the issues that my clients are having, the breakthroughs that they're getting. And I use that to create content. I use that to come up with topic ideas. So common mistakes is another one, right? Because as an expert, what you're able to do, and I did a post about this on LinkedIn last week, I spoke about pattern spotting, right? You, as the expert in your industry, will be able to spot patterns, to see where the dots are connecting that somebody who isn't an expert won't necessarily be able to identify. So, speaking about those things will set you apart from your ideal clients, no, from your competitors. Your question was about when you feel that you've said everything already. Um, in addition, what I want to add to what I've said so far, oftentimes we feel as if we're being repetitive. And I just want to dispel that myth, right? Because what often happens is somebody can hear you, see you multiple times, and it doesn't necessarily land the way that we would hope it would, right? So they have to hear the message a few times, a number of times before it lands, before it hits. There's that as point one. Point two, also, the algorithms mean that everybody that is in your network isn't seeing your posts. I'm sorry to say they're not, right? So we feel as if, oh, we've told them this already. And we break our head trying to find new things to talk about. When you're consistent in what you speak about, what you're doing is you are building trust, you're building credibility, you're building authority. So I would always encourage you to have your topic, as we've spoken about, have your topics, your content pillars, and stick with those. And what you do, think of it as like a diamond, right? If you held a diamond up and you looked at it from different angles, right, the light's going to reflect differently depending on the angle that you hold it at, depending on the light that's hitting it. That's the same with your content. That diamond is one of your topics, but you speak about it from different angles. You speak about it with different content types. So you could lean into short form video on LinkedIn. You could lean in the following day to maybe a LinkedIn newsletter. The following day it could be a poll, right? But the essence and the topic in and of itself is still the same, just from different angles. Hey Lion, how are you? Good to see you on. Let's pull up your contribution to the Q&A. You said it sinks in for them. Yeah, exactly. It's that thing of so perfect example. My husband had been telling me something for the past like 2 weeks, and I couldn't hear it. It just wasn't sitting in. We had an appointment, or I had an appointment. We've gone to the appointment, and I've heard exactly the same thing that he had been saying, but I couldn't hear it from him, right? So sometimes, we need to say it in a way, use the language. I say this all the time with those sales calls that I said to go back through, glean the language, the wording that is being used, and replay that in your content, right? So then you're using the voice of the customer, you are using their language, their words. As an expert, you're going to come at it from a highfalutin perspective with all the verbiage and the acronyms and all the whizzy bang pop terminology that they just don't get. So your language is what is going to help your message to sink in. Lion goes on to say, plus new people haven't heard it yet. Exactly that, right? Every day, new people are finding you. As you engage on the platform, LinkedIn is now suggesting you to new connections. As you engage in the comments, new people are checking you out. So you may well feel as if you're talking about the same topic over and over again. To Lion's point, new people are coming in, new people are discovering you. Hence, I did a masterclass yesterday and I was talking about like repurposing your content. So go back 90, 60 days, however long, and repurpose what you've posted and what did well. You can reuse that, right? Because again, the new people don't know you spoke about that. The people that were already there probably don't even remember you spoke about that. So yeah, the fact that you feel that you are repeating yourself, that's a good thing, because it means as well, from a algorithm perspective specific to LinkedIn, they're looking for topic authority. They're looking for people who have consistency in what they talk about so that the algorithm can understand who you are, who you serve, what problems you solve, the transformations you get, so that they now know where to position you, where to place you. What else could you speak about? I always speak about like having that countercultural perspective, that contrarian perspective. If all the other coaches are speaking and recommending and signposting people in a particular direction, and you genuinely have a different perspective, sharing that is a wonderful thing to do on many levels. The first level is that you then aren't part of the echo chamber, right? Everyone is just kind of in this vacuum repeating themselves. You're not doing that. And if your perspective is different and it aligns with a prospect or a partner, an amplifier, they're going to connect with it. So, yeah, sharing if there's something that you see, think about the things in your industry that people talk about that you don't necessarily agree with. And maybe you haven't shared that on LinkedIn. Now would be a good time to do that if you're feeling as though you're repeating yourself. So I will tag you in to this part of the call so you can pick up the answers that I gave. Just trying to think if there's anything else I would suggest. I would say switching up your content types, right? If you're only doing one content type, it doesn't give you much flexibility. What you've spoken about in a post could become a LinkedIn live that you unpack, you add more complexion, you add more context to the topic just by going live and speaking about it, right? You can only say so much in 3,000 characters. So maybe thinking about the different content types that you could be utilizing on LinkedIn. So guys, if you have any questions, drop them into the chat box. Drop them in. More than happy to pick up your questions. Let's have a look and see if there are any over in the community. Maybe people have dropped them there. No. All right, guys, if there's no questions, I'm happy to go back in the garden. I can see that there are some viewers online. So say hi. Let me know that you're here. Let me think about actually what I could share with you. Have you guys noticed? I'm loving this actually. Have you noticed in your analytics on LinkedIn, it's now showing you where your traffic is coming from? So are they already an existing connection or are they new? Are they outside of your network? And I think that that's really powerful. That's really important because we really do want to break outside of our networks. You want people that don't already know about you to discover you. So when you check your analytics now, this is a recent addition that I've seen. When you go into your analytics, it's now showing you two metrics, one being what percentage are already connected with you. And then the second metric is new or people outside of your network. And I love it when the number for those outside is higher. As much as, I want to speak to my network, I also want to speak to new people who are just discovering me. So yeah, let me know if you have noticed that new metric in your analytics for your content. I'm just gonna check on Instagram. I always forget that with Instagram, their comments don't come up in Restream. So I always forget to actually go over and check if anybody has written anything in the chat. So apologies if you have been saying stuff over there and I've missed it. All right, I don't see anything. I don't know if it keeps it. I don't know if it would show me comments that were posted before I hopped in. But repost it if you did. If you said something and I missed it over on Instagram, repost it and I'll pick that up. YouTube, let me know if you have any questions. Likewise, LinkedIn, YouTube. And if not, we'll call this session a quick one. These sessions are literally half an hour, and I'll be on for as long as there are questions. All right, it doesn't look like anything is coming through. So guys, the QR code here is for access to the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. You can join. There's a 7-day free trial. And what I encourage people to do is to leverage that free trial and utilize the LinkedIn challenge. So there's a 28-day challenge. The first 7 days are taught content on how you can get visible on LinkedIn. So utilize those first 7 days in the trial, right? To get a feel for the community, to get a feel for my style of delivery and teaching, get a feel for the community, to decide if you want to stick around after the 7 days. The focus is now on implementing what you had been taught on those first 7 days. So you put into practice what you have learned, share your analytics each day, and consistently apply what you've learned. And by the end of those 28 days, you would have built the visibility habit, the visibility muscle. I did a video recently, an interview on YouTube with a member that took the challenge, and by day 2 she had booked a discovery call, right? So from what she had learned from those first 2 days of the 28-day challenge, she had, and that was the first one I mentioned in the interview. You can go and check it out on YouTube. She speaks about a number of other wins as well, so well worth doing. And as I say, you can join for free for a trial, essentially, to decide whether or not you want to stick around. But I'm final call. I feel like a pub lady. Final call. Place your orders if you have any questions while I am on, and if not, I will give you back the rest of your Tuesday. It doesn't look like anything is coming through. So I'm going to love you guys and leave you. Thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you for your question in the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. Yasmin. Hey, lovely. Let's pull up your missed today's session. Just joined. No worries. Do you know what? I had tech issues. I don't know what happened. I set it up way in advance, and then for some reason on the LinkedIn side, the time changed. And then when I went to go live, it said that you need to leave an hour before you can actually go live. And I was like, I'm ready to go live now. I want to just get it done. So I think I then set up a new one. But yeah, let me know quickly if you have any questions. Feel free to drop it in. But you can submit your question in advance, and then I can give a more detailed response. As a premium member, you have access to the more detailed responses. So, but as you're on now, happy to answer a question if you have one. If not, I will love and leave you, but I want to leave a little bit of time before I end it, in case you are typing. Let me know if you have a question. Amazing. You'll submit one for next week. Perfect. No problemo. We had one come in, so I answered that. And that was a question around what you should post when you kind of feel like you've said everything already. So I covered that off. So you'll be able to watch that in the replay. But yeah, submit a question for next week. There's the form inside of the premium and VIP module. So yeah, submit the form happy to answer your question. And with that, I'm going to give you back your Tuesday. I'm going to get back in the garden. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you, whether in the lab or around on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, all the places.